From Studio A at 1 Biloxi Square in Fort Worth, Texas, this is the Grandpa and Pappy Show.
By God, it is, isn't it?
Again, I like it. I like it. Hey, happy holidays to all of you. I know Thanksgiving's behind us. We got the Christmas holidays to look forward to. And we're certainly hoping that you have some great plans for your family and a chance to be with them and see them and get with them and just have the most joyous of holiday seasons.
That's what it's all about, right there.
That's what it's all about, family.
I hope you didn't gain too much weight over
Thanksgiving,
because you've got a lot more to go.
Yes, you do. Yeah, and then you can make those New Year's resolutions to lose all that weight you gained. That never happens. Yeah. But anyway, we're really happy to have you in with us today as we get ready to do our last show before our holiday break. Yep. And we are looking forward to this one because it's still, to this day, after about 3 weeks now, still generating a lot of, should we say, controversial conversation.
I had to take a sabbatical from this conversation. I like to stir too much poopy up getting involved in this.
Yeah, of course, we're talking about the Kyle Rittenhouse verdict, where he was found innocent of all charges. But some in the mainstream media just will not let it go. And we got so many comments. We're going to jump right into it and try to get as many of these as we possibly can in the time allotment that we have. And I'm going to start off by asking Pappy. He had made a comment on our Facebook page that generated quite a bit of reaction from our viewers and those of you out there listening and contributors to the Facebook page. And you had simply just said, if he hadn't been there, it wouldn't have happened.
And that's my opinion.
Right.
17 years old, I realize he is a full-grown man in his state, but no. 17 years old, walking down the street with a loaded AR, you can expect trouble, especially when you're dealing with the people he was dealing with.
Right.
I mean, mind you, he was there to save Grandma and Granddad's gas station, and I would... In all honesty, I'd have probably have done the same thing, except I'd have gone at it a little different.
Yeah.
I'd have been hiding behind a dumpster.
Well, the dumpster was on fire till he put it out.
Well, all the better reason for nobody to screw with you. But yeah, I mean, he's a good kid in my opinion, and I mean he's got true family values and was trying to take care.
He certainly does.
Of his family business, and kudos to you, but you know. I personally know of some situations that are real comparable to there to where the boy carrying the gun wasn't so lucky. So.
That's true. Well, you've heard what Pappy said and his opinion, and he made it clear it's his opinion.
Yeah.
And that's the way he feels. But we'll jump right into it because Harold Dixon told Pappy that none of them should have been there in the first place. I taught my children that if you look for gold and silver, you will probably never find it. But if you look for trouble, you'll find plenty. They were all looking for trouble, and they found it.
You know, that was my whole point. I mean, my whole point in making a comment about my opinion about it was for his safety sake. I mean, somebody was going to get stomped down that night.
Well, that's true.
And it happened to
that's
be
very
him,
true.
So.
Yeah.
So he's very fortunate, very blessed that way. Glenda Hardy told us, first of all, to calm down. I'm a pretty calm guy, Glenda. Second of all, my sons would not have been there. Kyle had every right to be there and carry. Did you watch any of the trial? If you did, you'd know that this should have never gone to trial. Tim Randall said a jury of his peers found him innocent of all charges, so be it. You got to follow the law, you know.
Yeah, you got to follow the law, and they did.
We don't have to like it, but
that's true. James O'Donnell said people died by his actions. There should always be an inquiry into that instance. Chris Palmore says, I agree a trial was necessary, but I agree with the verdict.
Yeah.
Kelly Brazzi said it was a waste of taxpayers' money, yet a small step to constitutional rights.
I know a bunch of left-wingers that pissed off.
Yes, me too.
And
We probably have some of the same ones.
and I agree with what Glenda said. I mean, I've got 3 full-grown boys, and I know they would be there, but they're a little more tactical. I mean, they're not going to try to flex anything. You know, well, here I am, by God, you approach me, I'm going to shoot you kind of guy. I mean, although that's the way they are. But I think they'd have handled a little different. Yeah. Mary Adams Childers from Campbell, Texas, told us, I believe they followed the law and the Constitution. He should have never been charged. It is still a very sad situation, and his life will never be the same. That's probably because he's going to be a multimillionaire. James Ellis said, I agree, and the kid is having to go through therapy to battle PTSD symptoms now.
And that's true. Yeah. He is. He's having therapy twice a week.
Well,
he's having severe nightmares, and he can't sleep. He'll carry that burden with him for the rest of his life.
Yeah, he will. And out of all due respect to his actions and the trial and everything involved around this, amigo, pro-choice. He made the choice to be there, irregardless to what surrounds it or how any of us feels. He made the choice as a young adult to be there.
Yeah. And the thing we got to remember, the bottom line here is, well, at least to me, we got to remember at the time he was 17 years old.
Yeah.
I know there's been lots of guys that joined the military, especially during World War II at 15, 16, 17 to fight, and became men in their own right, trial by fire. But
wasn't my choice.
in today's society, we just got to remember that, as you said, he's going to have to live with his circumstances, his choice.
And I don't think the boy was intentionally looking for trouble.
No, I don't either.
But a moron would have to know that there's going to be I mean, why else would he go into a crowd carrying a rifle? You know, I mean, it's one of those. It's not one of those "here I am, come take it" kind of situations. He had the right to do what he did by law. So apparently
he did. Paul Allen Gray from San Antonio said there are many pros and cons that people could say about this case, but here is my take. The kid went to that town to help clean up graffiti and to help protect the auto dealership his father worked at.
Yeah.
He was the one chasing down a dumpster that was set afire, and the crowd was pushing it toward a gas station.
Yeah.
He is the one who extinguished it before people really got hurt. He was also there to administer first aid to those that needed it. The kid did what grown-up adults should have done. But that's just my opinion.
And well respected,
and
Paul.
That's a good opinion,
it
actually.
Is, well said. And he's also, isn't he like a junior ranger or a police cadet?
Well, he was a
or
lifeguard,
like
and he knows first aid, and that's why he was there. He had his first aid kit strapped around him and was giving first aid to those who were hurt.
Yeah, but even at that, which is cool that he is, I mean, that's good, but he's like a police not
yeah, I think you're right. He did do something with the police department of, I can't remember what they call it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Oh well. Our buddy Jerry Blum said his peers found him innocent on all charges. Nothing else to say. James Freeman asked that a 17-year-old doesn't have the right to defend himself. So at 17, you wouldn't have defended yourself? Just asking. Tammy Quick Crow said the jury got it right. Melissa Parker Dawson said they got it right, and we get to keep our guns.
There you go.
For now.
Well, Jerry Williamson, Pappy, told us it was the only way it could have gone. That is, if someone actually looked at the facts, unlike most of the Dems and that joke some elected as president. Mm-hmm. Jimmy Freely said, I agree. The video footage taken by many people that night showed the kid running for his life with people who were armed chasing him. And that is correct.
Yeah.
If a man points a gun at your face, you either shoot him or die. It was that simple. The kid didn't go looking for trouble, in my humble opinion.
You know, there's no doubt in my mind, had he not squeezed off a couple of rounds, he would have probably been found dead in the street.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because that guy was pointing his gun right at his head.
That'd be enough to get me to shoot his
Oh,
ass,
yeah.
too.
Heck yeah.
Jeannie Wash said, I feel the verdict was correct. Also, there also, had there not been rioting, looting, and utter destruction, maybe no one would have felt the need to be there with a gun. Michelle Elaine McFerrin says it is the only verdict that could have been justified. He should have never been charged.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point,
Good way to
Michelle.
look at it.
We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to dig more into the opinions and viewpoints that you folks have sent to us regarding the Kyle Rittenhouse verdict.
Got some dillies
in
coming up.
Waukesha. Yeah, we do. But first of all, let's take this time out, and we'll be back with more of the Grandpa and Pappy Show right after this.
House for sale!
Home for sale.
Home for sale.
Home for sale. Home for sale.
We've got a home!
Available now.
He must have sold that house. He sure would.
He must have, I hope
As
so.
Mom would say, he looked like a possum licking shit off his teeth.
He should have
was
called me,
smiling
and
so
Karen
big.
would have helped him sell it, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's a fact.
If you're just joining us, we're talking about the Kyle Rittenhouse verdict that came down almost 3 weeks ago, where Kyle Rittenhouse was acquitted of all 5 points of charges that were leveled against him in a court of law up in Waukesha. How do you say that,
Waukesha.
Waukesha, Wisconsin.
Or
No,
Waukesha.
it happened in Kenosha.
Or Kenosha, I'm sorry. You're
Waukesha
exactly
is
right.
the other one.
Yeah, yeah,
It's a different
Kenosha.
story.
That's correct. That is correct. I stand corrected. Thanks over there, Special K. Let's get back to what you guys were talking about, your viewpoints on whether you think they got it right or not. Michelle Purviance Brown said, I agree with the verdict 100%. Watching how he handled his weapon, not walking around waving it at people. He even tried running where someone else would have just started shooting. He was there because that's where his dad lives and where he was working. The police weren't allowed to do anything, and they refused to help that. They refused the help that President Trump, where am I getting forward? President Trump offered with the National Guard. I remember thinking that people are going to get sick of this crap and start taking matters into their own hands. I would hate to see that rioting here in Amarillo. I would want the people to rise up and defend our city if our city government didn't. I hope Kyle sues everyone who painted him in a bad way, including the so-called president who called him a white supremacist. I think the jury did a fine job. God bless America.
By God.
Nicely put, Michelle.
It was. Well said. And I hope everything up in North Panhandle turns out okay, because I understand y'all going through some hell up there, too, with your crime rate. Alan Perry said that the kid had no choice but to use his weapon. Even the prosecutor's main witness had to admit that he was trying to kill Kyle, and that damaged their case badly. You know,
Yeah,
there
that was an unexpected turn.
That's a fact. There's so many videos taken of that night from every angle possible that showed him trying to run away from the protesters. When the guy hit Kyle in the head with a skateboard, that stopped him. Kyle had to defend himself, and he just, like everybody says, you got that right. It was a clear-cut version of self-defense, and the jury got it right, just as the jury who found 3 white men guilty of killing an African-American jogger. Justice is not dead.
Yeah.
Yet.
I agree.
Well said, Alan.
I agree. Good job, Alan. Michelle Elaine McFerrin told us it's the only verdict that could have been justified. He should never have been charged. Darla Walker told us the young boys and men started and fought for our country and lost life and everything they owned.
Yeah.
Kyle is a hero. The confrontation that started this is because he was going to put out a dumpster fire that a grown man was pushing to a gas station where lots of people were.
That's a
Now
fact.
stop and think about that. If he hadn't have done that, that thing would have exploded.
Oh man, well that was their intent.
And from what I understand, the gas station or filling station or convenience store, whatever you want to classify it as, well, I mean, it was packed.
Yeah.
I mean, packed with
Well,
people.
didn't it belong to his grandfather?
I haven't
Is
heard
that right,
one.
K-Bird?
I have no idea about that part.
I haven't heard that.
I read that somewhere. Patrick McDivitt told us, I hope he sues the crap out of the mainstream media, which I have a feeling that's what he's working on.
Yep.
Hollywood and politicians to the point he's got Bezos and Gates level money. Molly Graham Chandler said, my feeling is, thank God the media crap storm had tried and convicted this kid, did not win. I have hopes now that Americans will have a little bit of sanity instead of the BS that's been happening in the last couple of years. 1, 2, 3, let's go, Brandon.
Oh, God, I love that. James Gordon Wolfe said, I disagree. However, let's remember that democracy belongs to those who can keep political activity peaceful.
Key words.
One thing people can do is look into small or similar cases where the defendant was convicted and see about getting a retrial.
Might be onto something there, James.
Everybody's got that right.
Yep. Kimberly Morgan Sutton down around Houston said, here's a comment I read that really nails what's wrong with the media and why people don't have the whole story. And she knows a little something about media. She's been in and out of newspaper business for a while. It said, I have watched the whole Rittenhouse case. The jury is absolutely correct in acquitting. I didn't know that Kyle put out a dumpster fire being rolled toward a gas station with people all around. I didn't know that the police were told to stand down as business were being destroyed. I didn't know Kyle's dad, grandmother, and friends all lived in Kenosha, 20 minutes from where they lived with his mom. I didn't know that Joseph Rosenbaum knocked him down and attempted to kick him with lethal force to the head. And I didn't know that Huber had hit him in the head twice with a skateboard. And I didn't know that Gage Grosskreutz was a felon in possession of a firearm and aimed it at Kyle's head. If the media did their jobs, we would all have known this. Kim had a whole lot more information. I mean, she's a pretty intelligent gal. Had a whole lot more information to share about the subject, but time restraints just wouldn't allow it.
Yeah.
But well said, Kim.
Well said, Kimberly. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. Darla Walker said, okay, I can agree with you on that, and I really do wish he hadn't been there. But he did handle it well. I would imagine it will haunt him taking those lives till the day he dies. It is still better them than him.
Yep.
Well, that's a good thought.
Yeah.
These damn riots have totally scarred and changed our country forever. This newest generation has a lot to overcome if they are to survive it when we are gone. That's a damn scary realization.
Enough to open your eyes for a fact.
It will do that.
And you guys were talking about sending babies off to war. That's the very children, in my opinion, that fought for these clowns'
Freedom.
Freedom,
Yeah.
And their ability to act like fools marching down the street. So,
Well, there's a difference in peacefully protesting to get your point across
yeah,
than it is to burn and loot, kill, hurt, and maim.
yeah, that takes it to a different level.
It
when
does,
that
in my
happens.
opinion.
Yeah.
It does.
Philip Oral answered Kimberly Morgan Sutton by saying, I discovered 80% of this information within days of the incident. It all goes back to who decides to tell the truth and who attempts to cover it up and push for a false narrative. That's a fact. When all the facts are displayed, there is no second guessing as to whether or not Kyle defended himself if against 3 criminal assailants without injuring any bystanders and successfully overcame a weapon malfunction. I didn't hear about the weapon malfunction. It sends a clear message to gun owners that you're only as good as your training, and that is well said.
That is.
Be responsible with any weapon that you possess and train with it as often as possible.
That's correct.
You know, just like in Kyle's case, it saved his life.
It did.
Yeah.
It certainly did.
Yeah.
And we watched a lot of that trial, and when
Yeah.
he was on the stand taking the stand in his own defense, the defense lawyer gave him a lot of room to tell his side of the story as it actually was,
right,
in his view. And he said the only reason he took the AK, what was it, a 15?
AR-15.
AR-15.
Yeah. Only reason he took that is to
Long
protect himself should he get in the middle of something while trying to protect his father's auto dealership.
Right. Yeah.
And he did. Put it that way. James Graham told us Kyle was absolutely not guilty. Everyone has a right to defend themselves. The only reason the prosecution wanted a guilty verdict was that now they can't have peaceful protest, as they are now in fear of being shot and killed by others protecting themselves.
Yeah.
If Democrats would not have pulled the police from doing their sworn duty, the riots never would have happened, and Rittenhouse wouldn't have had to defend himself.
Yeah. There's a lot of variables surrounding this. There really is.
Yeah.
A lot of what ifs.
Yeah, my old disc jockey buddy from Paris, Texas is next.
Oh, Johnny Williams.
Yeah.
That's a name I know. In fact, Johnny Williams from Paris, Texas, said the right verdict was returned by the jury. This was an attempted lynching by the far left. I'm just glad the jurors saw through the false rhetoric spewed out by Kenosha's DA's office. Rittenhouse was anything but an active shooter, and that's just one of the falsehoods spewed out by the DA's office, which is true. Mm-hmm. The kid should have never been indicted.
Absolutely.
And this coming from a former Department of Public Safety officer.
Yep.
After Johnny got out of the broadcast business, he became a police officer and applied, was accepted to the Department of Public Safety here in Texas, served a long term, and retired from there. Johnny,
Yeah,
so...
and I'm still wondering, I've realized you've known Johnny for years.
Yeah.
But I knew some Williams down in that area, and they had automobile dealerships. And in fact,
We actually know two Johnny Williams. One
Yeah,
that
the
lives
second
in
Johnny
town.
Williams, my redneck buddy's the one you're talking about.
well,
But Johnny,
is he the one
Johnny Williams from Paris had the most beautiful voice.
Well, the second one was the one might very well, it might even been
Grew up down
their
around
dad.
Tatum.
Yeah, he's kind of had a bad habit of not coming home at night, and his wife walked into a diner down there in East Texas, had his gun and emptied 5 .38 slugs into his chest. So,
Oh boy.
yeah.
Yeah, not a very good choice.
Yeah.
That's true. Hey, let's take a look at some of our viewer comments that we got in this week.
Okay.
I will tell you that we had many, many more opinions, and after the first of the year, if we still want to take a look at your opinions and you still have some great opinions on this Kyle Rittenhouse verdict, we will revisit it.
I'm sure this is one that won't be hushed for a while.
Yeah, and before we get to the viewer comments, I saw on the news, was it yesterday or day before, K-Bird, that Arizona State University, where Kyle was enrolled to take their nursing program, have voted to keep him off campus. They don't want him as a student. They don't want a mass murderer there. What do you got, Karen?
It was the Arizona State Socialist group there on campus.
Yeah.
And Kyle has not enrolled yet. I just tell him, come on to Texas, buddy. We'll take you.
We'll take you in a heartbeat.
All day long.
He'll get a 4-year
We
scholarship
got some
out of
great
that deal.
nursing programs.
That's
UT
right.
Tyler's one of the best.
Yes,
Yep.
it is.
That's a
So,
fact.
just saying that, here we go. You socialists trying to rule the world.
Well, Kyle may win so much money from settlements, he may not ever have to worry about being a nurse. Let's put it that
He
way.
might have his own hospital.
In our viewer comments today, Tony Haha commented on our show about inflation by saying, it's just like a tire. If it gets too inflated, it will explode. Happy holidays and Thanksgiving for the blessings we have. God is good.
Well, thank you, Tony. Happy holidays to you and yours, too.
Absolutely.
By the way, I suspect, I play Words with Friends with Tony.
Yeah.
We go back and forth. It's a regular slugfest. I think he's been eating smart pills lately.
There you go.
Because he's been kicking my butt. Big Billy Bryan told us his feelings on the show on rhinos voting. He said, I would have to see the infrastructure bill if that's the way it was going to be used for. Thanks to the Democrats, that bill was full of more pork than a Jimmy Dean sausage factory, by God.
Little Louisiana.
Had a lot of sausage there, Billy.
Yeah. Pamela Brown said our show on COVID vaccines was interesting.
Yeah.
The views expressed were all very good. With the way things are going today, we may have to be vaccinated every week for a new strain.
Want to bet?
Well, not this gal. Thank you,
bet?
Pamela. That's true. She's right.
I'm right there with you. And last but not least, to close out our viewer comments on the Grandpa and Pappy Show this week, James Edmonds said, I just discovered your Facebook page and watched a couple of shows. I'm glad there is someone asking logical questions and allowing average Americans to express their voice for a change. Good job, guys.
Thank you, James.
Thank you.
I appreciate it very much.
You hit the nail on the head, brother. That's exactly what this show's all about.
Well, we will tell you that we're going to take a break from the Grandpa and Pappy Show for the holiday break.
Yep.
And be back after the first of the year. And just keep checking our Facebook page because we'll keep that updated for you. And we appreciate everybody so very much.
We do. You guys rock.
If you have an idea or a suggestion for the show,
Yeah.
I would highly encourage you to get in touch with us, and it's very easy to do. There's multiple ways.
Don't cost you a
can,
penny.
Yeah, you can go to our email account, which is right over my shoulder here, grandpaandpappy@gmail.com.
That's
Or
a fact. Or you can simply go to our show website page, key in www.grandpaandthelletternpappy.com. That's grandpaandpappy.com.
what are you going to see?
That big old red button.
Yes,
Dink.
sir.
Right there it is. Never fails to pop up.
Yeah.
Push it. Just push it. Won't cost you a penny.
Yeah, they just ask you for a simple password that only
That's
you
it.
know, and you'll be subscribed to the Grandpa and
Yeah.
Pappy Show.
And we encourage you to do so because we are numbers driven.
Absolutely.
Just as any show is. And while you're hamming around on the website page, you've got access to our podcast page from there.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Instagram,
yeah,
Twitter,
YouTube.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You can leave comments, show topics, whatever
That's
you want
right.
to talk about on any one of those locations. So
Or you can go to our Grandpa and Pappy Facebook page,
Yep.
where 99% of the opinions that we read here on the show come from, and you can actually read them in their unabated form.
But we do not just encourage, we insist that you share respect with your fellow people.
Absolutely.
I mean, you can voice your opinion in any form or fashion you want to, but if you're going to get rude with another member, we'll just have to boot your ass out to cyberspace. Which has happened recently, by the way.
Yes. We always want to keep it respectful because
Yeah.
we respect all of our
That's
viewers and your opinions.
You don't
just
have-
keep the language
Yeah.
and the
Don't-
personal attacks.
Don't be talking down to somebody because they've got their own opinion. Hell, they're probably thinking the same thing about yours, but they've got a little bit of class about them where they're not going to dun you about your feelings, you know.
Ain't it so?
Yeah, just keep it simple. I mean, nobody has to agree with you.
That's true. Hey, everybody have a great Christmas season. We'll
Please
see you
do,
back
yeah.
after the first of the year. God bless you. We love all of our viewers
We
and
do.
all of our listeners. Without you, we're nothing.
Thank you for
Yeah,
all your support. Yeah.
Absolutely have had a ball putting this on.
Yeah.
And the opinions and views that you guys express are just spot on.
It's true debt.
Until we see you next time, everyone, have a Merry Christmas.
Yeah, take care of one another through the holidays.
That's right. Reach out, hug your kids, and let them know you love them.
That's right. Let them know they're well loved right here at the Grandpa and Pappy Show too. By God,
God.
amigo.
Yeah,
By God.
absolutely.
We love him, babies. Love him, babies.
Until we see you again, God bless you. God bless our great country. And we will see you after the first of the year.
Happy holidays, everybody.
See ya.